Hey there, and welcome. Today we're going to talk about something called confined spaces. It's pretty straightforward. First, we'll nail down what exactly a confined space is. Then we're going to dive into what makes them so risky. And to finish up, we'll walk through all the crucial safety measures you need to have in place. Simple as that.
Okay, first things first. Let's get into the definition. And this is super important, right? Because you can't control a risk if you don't even know you're looking at it. And trust me, the official definition is probably a bit more detailed than you'd guess. So here it is. Think of it like a checklist with 3 boxes you have to tick. First, does it have limited ways to get in and out? Like a single manhole. Second, was this space built for a person to just hang out in all day? No way. We're talking about things like storage tanks or silos. And third, and this is one that catches people out, it also counts if it's an open ditch or excavation deeper than 1.2 meters. If you can say yes to these, then boom, you're dealing with a confined space.
All right, so now we know what to look for, but let's get to the heart of it, the why. Why do we have to treat these spaces with so much respect? Well, it's because the biggest threats, they're often totally invisible. You can't see them, you can't smell them, and you won't hear them coming.
So yeah, what is it that makes these spaces so incredibly dangerous? And I'll tell you right now, it's not just about feeling claustrophobic. The real dangers, the invisible ones, can take someone out in just a few minutes, sometimes even seconds.
Okay, let's start with the stuff in the air, the atmospheric hazards. We're talking about the very air you breathe. It could have too little oxygen, which is obviously bad, but get this, it can also have too much oxygen, which makes everything super flammable. On top of that, you've got poisonous or explosive gases that can just build up. Now, mix in bad lighting, zero ventilation, and maybe some crazy heat, and yeah, you've got a perfect storm for something terrible to happen.
Then you've got the physical hazards. A simple slip and fall is bad anywhere, but in a cramped space? It's a whole different level of serious. But the one we really need to talk about is engulfment. That's the one underlined in red there. It's a horrible word for a horrible thing. It means being swallowed up or buried by whatever's in the space. Could be a liquid, could be a solid like grain or sand. It's just a terrifying way to go, and it's often fatal.
And last but not least, we have what I'd call the logistical nightmares. The shape and size of the space itself is a hazard, right? It's hard to move, and even harder to get someone out if things go wrong. You also have to worry about leftover energy stored in pipes or machinery. And hey, see that last point? Poor access and egress? That should sound familiar. We saw it in the definition, and here it is again. Because not being able to get in and out easily isn't just a defining feature, it's a massive hazard all by itself.
Okay, that's enough of the scary stuff. We know what a confined space is, and we know why it's so dangerous. So now, let's flip the script and talk about the most important part. What do we do about it? How do we make sure everybody stays safe? Let's get into the control measures.
You might think the first step is to grab some gear, but nope. It's all about planning and paperwork. Seriously, you need a permit to work, or a PTW, which is basically the official green light. You need a method statement and a job safety analysis to map out every step and every risk. And you absolutely must have a rescue plan figured out before anyone sets foot inside. And none of that even starts until an authorized gas tester, an AGT, gives the all-clear on the air quality.
Okay, paperwork's done. Now it's time to prep the site and the team. First, you shut everything down. Any energy source, we're talking electrical, mechanical, whatever, has to be isolated. That's what LOTO, or lockout/tagout, is all about. Then, the space itself needs a good cleaning and purging to get rid of any nasty stuff. And just as important, the people have to be ready. You need a trained hole watcher. That's their only job, to watch the person inside. And the person actually going in, the entrant, has to be fully trained on the risks and emergency procedures.
So while the job is actually happening, you need a few systems running. Communication, and you can see it's highlighted there, is non-negotiable. The person inside and the hole watcher have to be in constant, reliable contact. You'll often need big fans for mechanical ventilation to keep fresh air flowing. In the rescue gear, a tripod, a winch, a stretcher, it can't be locked away in a shed. It has to be right there, set up, and ready to go at a moment's notice with a rescue team on standby.
Now, this little detail is a huge deal. That 24V you see circled there, that's critical. Any piece of electrical equipment you take into that space, whether it's a light or a radio, has to be low voltage. We're talking 24 volts max. And the reason is simple, and it's life or death. A regular electrical device can create a tiny spark. And if there are any flammable gases in the air, well, a tiny spark is all you need for a massive explosion.
Sometimes, no matter how much you ventilate, the air just isn't safe. So you have to bring your own.
But you have to know what gear to use. Think of it like this. An SCBA, that's your self-contained breathing apparatus, is like a scuba tank for work. It's what you wear when you have to work in a bad atmosphere or go in for a rescue. An EEBA, on the other hand, the emergency escape one, that's more like a tiny life raft. It's got just enough air to get you out during an emergency, and that's it. You can't work while wearing it.
And finally, let's wrap up the controls with two last safeguards that are just plain common sense, but so important. First, fall protection. If you're working near that opening, you need to be tied off. Simple. And second, you gotta rope off the whole area. Put up signs, set up barricades, do whatever it takes to make sure nobody who isn't supposed to be there can wander in by accident.
You know, after all that, if there's one single idea I want you to walk away with, it's this. Safety in a confined space has almost nothing to do with being brave or being skilled when something goes wrong. It has everything to do with the boring, careful, detailed preparation you do before anyone even gets close to the entrance. That planning, that's the foundation. That's what keeps people safe.
So I'll leave you with this to think about. We've talked about a lot of control measures, from gas testing to having a rescue plan to that dedicated hole watcher. Which one of those sticks with you the most? What's the one thing that you'll remember from all this? Just thinking about that for a second is a great way to start making all of this safety stuff second nature. Thanks for sticking with me on this.